Hello, my name is Pete Bowers. I'm founder of the WordWorks Literacy Center and introduced the phrase structured word inquiry as an instructional approach, understanding the spelling, pronunciation, meanings of words, and how they all work together. Now, I began my work by encountering a resource called Real Spelling in 2001, which transformed my teaching as a teacher, and then I ended up going into the research. And so my work is really based on what I learned from Real Spelling. Now, the current version of Real Spelling is an online subscription based resource, and it's just amazingly rich. And many are using it. The one challenge can be is finding what you're looking for in this massive resource. And so Matt, the webmaster for this, has has worked out a enhanced word search or enhanced search that I want to show you some little videos to how you can make use of it. It also gives you a window, if you haven't subscribed, to the kind of material that's in here. Now, just a couple things before we get to the search. When you land on this page and you aren't a subscriber, this is what you see. I just want to point out, you'll see just a couple things up here. When I log into my account, you'll see there's much more. One thing that I want to highlight is the overview. This gives you an idea of the content in what are called the Real Spelling themes. So each of these boxes is a little theme on an orthographic concept that you can study. And to give you a sense of what is in those, one of those themes, Learning from Love, is available as a for free access. So you get a window into the kind of content that is here. This includes videos. When you click on the golden ball, you'll see videos you can explore about concepts, resources to print. Is really quite an astonishing resource. That Learning from Love theme is a particular favorite as it dives into morphology, etymology, and phonology in really familiar words. So I recommend that you check that out. But here's what happens when you log in. All of a sudden, you'll see all the other resources that are here. Among the ebooks, I just want to highlight the manual, the Real Spelling Manual, which is really the first thing I read and is just remarkable. But there's all sorts of videos and matrices and other resources to explore. But today we're going to look at this enhanced search. So the other day I was asked in an email about a question about what the S is doing in the word sugar. So I'm just going to model what I thought, well, I'll just try this with this other person's question. And one thing to get used to is that you might have to reword your question a few times to get to exactly the best responses. So I'll ask the question maybe poorly the first time and say something like, what is the S doing in sugar? Okay, you can find information sugar. Oh, 4K. Well, this actually, I didn't ask the question very well, but it's doing pretty good. Uh, so the theme for K is going to be graphemes for the phoneme sh. That obviously looks like it can be relevant. And then there's another one in this. So let's just jump right into what it points to for theme for for theme 4K. So because I'm subscribed, it just takes me right to where that is. And oh, right off the bat, I get this document showing me that this phoneme sh can be written by any of these graphemes. And I have all of this. This is, by the way, something that you can, if you wanted to, you could print and download. Um, but that shows you just how quickly we can find this stuff. And I can actually go down here and see, oh, I can go S with the sure and sweet. Really, that's going to point right to the part of the theme where they talk about actually the word sure, which you couldn't assume you'd land on it. And so there's 2 points. You're saying that, that here's a point. Why not an ER? And that turns out to be an etymological story. But I'm not going to go through all of this now. I'm just showing you this is an example of how you could go from a question. And what I would recommend is that you take the question and you read the theme, not because you're going to teach the whole theme, but because it's a way to study something you're asking about with your students, and you'll learn all sorts of other things along the way. But one thing you're going to be able to do is understand how you can, what the S grapheme is doing in a word like sugar. So I'll leave this short one there, and I'll do another one in a moment with perhaps a morphological question. Cheers.